don't look the best formed up. We're in the hands of the race director, Mr. Alessandro Ferrari. But he's happy with the field and he lets the lights go out. Nicholas Nielsen races into the lead into turn 1. Quite a clean start. We've lost no one. No one has even put a wheel into the dirt. Nicholas Nielsen leads them round for the first time. Max Futrell for Ricky Flynn Motorsport up into second spot. Fantastic start for the young Brit. Vashore is in third in the Esprit Kart. They settle themselves down for this first lap. Already a strong lead for Nicholas Nielsen, the young blonde Dane, in his first race for the TKART racing team. Leads with his head down. 1 down, 19 remain. They flash across our start finish line at 120 kilometres an hour for the first time. Nielsen leads Futrell, Vashore, Bash, Casper Anderson and the American Juan Correa, who is in 5th spot. Make that 6th because he's been passed by Casper Anderson. Rokas Pachuska in 7th. Yuri Vips, a great start into 8th. Leonardo Lorendi is 9th. And Emil Scaris rounds out your top 10. Tom Bale, the fastest qualifier, sits down in 15th spot. A driver to look out for is Igor Stupenkov. He's currently in position number 11, but he was fastest in the heats yesterday, which were in the rain. This is the fight for second place. Nielsen starts to pull away. Oh, they touch! A big touch there between Vashore and Carol Bash. NASCAR style on the start-finish straight. Carol Bash in the Cosmic Kart, his debut for the purple team, gets fed a wheel by the young Dutchman Richard Vashore. Sensational stuff. Vashore in second spot. Let's watch Carol Bash. He's a very clean, very smooth driver. Again, down the main straight, cuts across, says, hey, that bit of bitchman's mine. Get out of my way. Vashore in second spot. Carol Bash is going to have to try something different. Remember, these cars have got front wheel disc brakes. Expect very, very late braking moves on this La CONCA circuit. The 2 Ricky Flynn Motorsport drivers in the Alonso cars. That's them there, the bright blue, white and yellow machines. We've got the TKART leading the Esprit, the Cosmic, then the 2 Alonsos. So we've got OTK karts, the first 5 positions. Nielsen, that's him, 2.02, as cool as you'd like, pulling away from the rest of the field. I expect a move to come from the man on screen now, 2.01. That is Carol Bash, the driver from Poland. Flies over the ripple strip, does Richard Vashore, getting airborne. Up the inside, there's the move into second place. Cool, calm, absolutely methodical from the pole. Head down. Vashore has a look over the shoulder, tries to get him back, but he has to defend that third place from Futrell, and behind him, his teammate Anderson. This is the move into the McLaren curves. A wheel up on the ripple strip for Vashore might have cost him a fraction of time. I think Carol Bash had him lined up before that anyhow. Lorenzo Travisinuto in the PCR car, fastest lap of the race, but he's way down in 13th spot after a dreadful start that saw him lose 5 places. Nielsen with a 48.4 second lap last time round as they go side by side into the McLaren curves. Bash fighting off the 2 RFM drivers, coming up to complete the first quarter of this race. Vashore in second spot. Bash now trying to fight off the 2 RFM drivers. You can see fastest lap again for 48.2 for Nielsen, pulling away while the battle rages for second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth spot. Right down to the American Juan Correa and the Energy Kart. That's him now to the right of your screen up the inside. Nicely done by the American. Blocks it on the exit. Quite fairly, you must say. Futrell and Anderson in a little bit of trouble now. Rokas Pachuska getting involved also in 7th spot. down the start-finish straight. This is the start of their 6th lap. Very aggressive, very talented young Dutchman just out of juniors. Richard Verschoor from the Netherlands, the ex-free chassis. Carol Bash, on the other hand, very calculating, very cool, very smooth. Oh, you can see how aggressive is young Verschoor. Drags the right rear Vega tyre onto the grass, using every bit of the racetrack and then some. Bash smashes over the ripple strip through the centre chicane. Yuri Vips, the Rotax World Junior Champion, now up into 8th spot and trying to hunt down Casper Anderson. Verschoor a little bit sideways coming onto the straight. Great drive thus far from the American Juan Correa. He is up into 5th spot in the energy cart. For our friends in NZ, Marcus Armstrong, after starting from the back of the grid, is now up into 19th position. It's getting very, very dark here at La Conca. Verschoor and Carol Bash in the centre of your screen. It is the X-Spree kart leading the Cosmic. Leading the Alonso kart, and out front it's the Green Machine. The Tony kart, which has won more world titles than I can count. Up the inside, Carol Bash, he's done the same move again. This time he's in 2nd spot. A look over the shoulder, Carol Bash signals, hey, the leader's getting away. Up the inside rear skips up nicely. Hardly any movement in the steering wheel. You can see how straight he drives that Cosmic kart. And speaking of straight, speaking of smooth, how about this kid from Denmark in the Tony kart? Last year was in the Cosmic, switched over to the sister team. Turns in quite early, does Nicholas Nielsen. Bash over the ripple strip, driving it quite straight. So the pole chasing down the Dane with the Dutchman in 3rd spot. It looks as though we've lost one of the energy carts on the back part of the circuit. Oh, indeed, I think that's Bachuska as Nielsen comes through. And I'll tell you why, because it's starting to rain. The red flag is out. It's actually starting to rain reasonably heavily here. That's why the energy cart was slow, because it got turned around on the back straight. Lorenzo Travisanuto goes through at the bottom of your screen. Then it was Igor Stupenkov for Forza Racing. The red flag is out. We have not reached half race distance. This race will not be declared officially yet. I must confess I'm a little surprised that the race was not neutralised with the double yellow flags. The track is greasy, but there is not yet standing water. If it does continue, they will change over to the Vega wet tyres. Well, according to the Apple iPhone weather app, we were expecting some showers this afternoon, but I was hoping that our friends in California had made a little bit of a mistake with the app prediction. You can see how dark it is here in the south of Italy. It is only 10 to 3 in the afternoon, and we just about need the lights on. The track's actually not that wet. There's not standing water. It's greasy. The grid girls will have to be real careful on their high heels, be assured. It's very slippery, but wet weather tyres, gee, I don't know. The rain's actually easing up. It's a brief shower. The red flag has come out. The kart's back into Parc Ferme. Nielsen was your leader at the conclusion there. A lot of new chassis joining the grid this year as the green flag flies. Nielsen can't get that vortex started. He's stranded. Nielsen, no, this is a tragedy. Nicholas Nielsen from pole position is stranded on the grid. He can't get that engine fired into life. Neither can the 227 kart of Yuri Vips. Oh, can you believe it? He's being pushed back to pit lane. Colpa di scena. What a shock. As they say here in Italy, now he's got it fired up. Is he going to be forced to start from pit lane? They are forcing him out despite the fact that it has fired into life. Wow. Wow. Nicholas Nielsen. We said nothing flusters him, but this has got his attention. He's now in pit lane. They're desperately trying to change his spark plug. The crack TKART racing team working frantically in pit lane. A fouled spark plug, possibly a result of slowing down on that final wet lap. Look at the circuit out there now. Huge rooster tails of spray. Richard Verschoor with Carol Bash. That's now the front of the race. I'm looking down into pit lane. The red flag is held up in front of Nicholas Nielsen. The track is absolutely saturated. Vega wet tyres on each of these drivers' cuts. That's Nielsen to the right of your screen. He will have to rejoin at the back of the field after leading this race early on by 2 or 3 seconds. Fires it up, gets it sideways. This has certainly made the race interesting. Yuri Vips also gets that Ricky Flynn Motorsport Alonso kart fired up. Nicholas Nielsen, we said nothing flusters him, but this certainly will. He's had to start from pit lane. They've changed the plug. The engine's fired into life. Brutschin from Germany, also slow to get away. Kevin Brutschin in the Alonso kart. Nicholas Nielsen, he's still struggling to catch up to the back of the field. The green flag is being held by the race director in front of us, Mr. Alessandro Ferrari. When they cross the start-finish line next time round, they will be racing. I can see a board being held up in front of me with number 202 on it. That is Nicholas Nielsen's number. Well, what a shock we've got. 12 laps to go. The green flag flies, and getting it sideways in spectacular fashion is your new race leader, Richard Verschoor. We've got one kart out in the grass. It is soaking wet. A lot of drivers struggling to cope with the conditions. Nielsen has rejoined at the back of the race. Let's see where he comes across the line. He's 19th. He's in position 19. And guess what? The rain has stopped. We've had this downpour. The storm has passed. The track is wet. Nicholas Nielsen said, I was having a fantastic week up until now. What's happened? I'm in 19th spot. And he's still struggling with that engine to get it cleared. Maybe he's even got water in through the airbox. He's struggling to see through his visor. It is soaking wet. As the field come down through the centre chicane for the first time. Watch them cut the corner. Over the ripple strip goes Richard Verschoor. In the Esprit cut, the young Dutch driver, huge plumes of spray. Accelerating, wheel spinning, under acceleration. Max Futrell. Dare I use the cliche that the Brits know how to race in the rain. He's sideways under acceleration. Just wheel spinning that Alonso kart powered by the Vortex engine. That's Futrell on screen now. Let's watch the different lines of the drivers. Do they cut across the inside ripple strip, or do they take the high line, the traditional wet weather line? Have a look at Juan Correa from the United States, now up into 3rd spot in the energy kart. The black race suit, using every bit of the racetrack, number 209, the Lotus F1 team junior driver. Kaspar Anderson in 4th, and hey, didn't we tell you before the race, the Russian Igor Stupenkov started out at 13th after one lap. He is now in position 7. He's made up 5 places in the opening laps. The Russian from Forza Racing, Igor Stupenkov. As they come down through the centre chicane, this is half race distance now. Futrell getting very wide, still keeps it under control, sits very low in that kart. That's Correa on screen now. He's got Kaspar Anderson sideways, the kart wheel spinning under brakes, the white helmet is Lorenzo Travisinuto up the inside of Rokas Bachuska. They're still side by side as they go through the double right. Lorenzo Travisanuto, a look over the shoulder for the young Italian in the PCR. That's Richard Vachor on screen, working that Esprit steering wheel furiously over the ripple strip on the inside. There he goes, being hunted down by Max Futrell. Correa goes through at the bottom of your screen. Rokas Bachuska. There's Lorenzo Travisanuto. Igor Stupenkov. Here comes the Russian. That's him in the orange and white cart. The bright orange helmet tries the outside line for Forza Racing. Stupenkov up into 6th place now. This will be the end of lap number 12. Sideways like a rally car. Richard Vachor from the Netherlands. Power slides under acceleration. 125cc engines, around about 35 horsepower. Futrell, he's working that steering wheel. Such is the wheel spin. It is so wet, he cannot keep it straight on the start-finish line. 7.5 laps remaining. Your leader, Richard Vachor. Max Futrell and the American Juan Correa, Casper Anderson, Rokas Bachuska. Vachor starting to get a little bit of a rhythm, but it's very, very hard to lead in these conditions, especially when you've got the young Brit Max Futrell behind you. Juan Correa driving superbly, the young American, for Energy Course. Has raced all around the world. One driver who has competed in the Rotax World Finals previously. Now he's in the WSK Promotion Series, the Champions Cup here at La CONCA Muro Lecce. Futrell over the ripple strips. Correa right through the ripple strips. Sideways drifting style. Ken Block would be proud. There's the Russian, Igor Stupenkov, coming through into the McLaren curves. They're all on opposite lock. There's Futrell. He's struggling to keep it straight. He's struggling to keep it turned in. Of course, he uses the front wheel brakes to max effect over the ripple strip. Richard Vachor. 6.5 laps remaining. It has stopped raining. The storm has passed. A 15-minute absolute torrential downpour, and the sky's clearing, but the track is still saturated. Different lines from these two drivers, the Dutchman and the Brit, who used to call Singapore home. There's Correa now, coming under attack from the Dane Casper Anderson. Ricky Flynn Motorsport Karts in 2nd and 4th. Anderson trying to make it 3rd place, but he's got the energy cart of the young American Juan Correa in front of him. That's your race leader. Driving his heart out is Richard Vachor. Takes the wide line. Relatively straight for these conditions. Not so for Correa, just throws it in sideways. As they come onto the start-finish straight. 6 laps remaining now. Anderson tries to clear his helmet. Still, again, Futrell wrestling that cart in a straight line. That's Casper Anderson. Stupenkov, the Russian, here he comes. He's now up into position 5. And I can tell you, he's hunting down the leaders. The Forza Racing number 238 entry, powered by Vortex in the Tony kart. The orange and white kart. He's quick. He's really quick. Last time round, 48.4 for the Russian. He's matching the leader's pace. He is about 4 seconds behind the leaders. As Vachor starts to bunch up ahead of Futrell, Correa and Anderson. This is 3/4 race distance through the center chicane, up over the ripple strips. Correa now on the back of Futrell. Over the ripple strips goes Futrell and Correa, and there's Anderson, number 228, the Ricky Flynn Motorsport Alonso kart. Stupenkov, you can see, in 5th position. Remember, at the restart, he was 13th. He was nowhere, relatively speaking, in the dry. Yesterday in the wet, he dominated. It rained again, and he's relishing the conditions. The driver from Moscow, Russia, Igor Stupenkov, into 5th place, hunting down the leaders. a little bit slower was on that last lap. The yellow flag's out. We've lost one of the Alonso karts on the infield. The leader's coming up. We are at 3/4 race distance. Richard Verschoor from the Netherlands. He was in juniors just a few months ago, competing in the CIK FIA Karting Academy Trophy. There's Stupenkopf at the left of your screen. That is Juan Correa in the energy kart, the black racer's suit, being pursued by the Russian in the orange and white kart. Behind him, Emil Skaras, Rokas Bachuska, François Becamal from France is in 8th. Lorenzo Travisinuto, he'll be one driving that wish it did stay dry. He had the PCR working in the dry, not so much in the wet. There's the two Ricky Flynn Motorsport karts in 2nd and 4th spot. Correa has dropped out. Now he's under attack from Stupenkopf. 3.5 laps now to go. Verschoor is still leading. Futrell, Anderson. Correa has dropped back. Richard Verschoor from the Netherlands driving superbly considering these conditions. Ricky Flynn Motorsport in 2nd and 3rd. They're used to winning. They won the World Championship 4 months ago in France with Lando Norris. They're not used to coming 2nd and 3rd. But that's the positions they find themselves in the moment. Richard Verschoor from the Netherlands leads. Stupenkopf now up into 4th spot. Juan Correa from America has dropped back. Emil Skaras now finds himself up a spot. Stupenkopf, 238, there he is, the orange and white kart from Russia. Forza Racing, the team from the United Kingdom. Chasing the Ricky Flynn Motorsport karts, comes down the inside. Stupenkopf, no, not this time. Richard Verschoor, he's driving superbly, the young Dutchman. Futrell in 2nd spot. He called Singapore home for a number of years. They're used to torrential downpours on the equator. Racing at Cartwright Speedway, Changi Speedway, and now, of course, their new KF1 circuit at the Singapore Turf Club. He now calls Britain home. I won't say it's much drier over in the United Kingdom. Max Futrell, he's driving the wheels off that kart. He's closing in slightly on your leader, Richard Verschoor, who goes wide. A look over the shoulder that time. Stupenkopf now up in the 3rd spot. He's got by the Dane, Casper Anderson. Into 3rd, make that 2nd in a few moments' time, I do believe. Over the ripple strip goes the Russian. Wow. Forza Racing, the Tony kart, takes the high line. He's putting the power down superbly. Here comes Stupenkopf. The question is, can he win it? He's got 2 laps to go. He started grid 13 at the restart. Verschoor from Futrell, the high line from Stupenkopf up the inside. No! Whoa, this is exciting. I think he's going to pass him. In fact, he does so right now. The Russian into 2nd spot. Chasing down the Dutchman. He came from 13th on the grid. We know how quick he was in the wet. Up over the ripple strip. Igor Stupenkopf in 2nd place. The fastest driver on the track still remains your leader, Richard Verschoor. This is the move into 2nd for the Russian. Up over the ripple strip. Did it nicely. Futrell could not respond. Ricky Flynn Motorsport, their team karts are now in 3rd and 4th place. A look over the shoulder that time for Stupenkopf. The last lap board is being prepared as they come down through the centre chicane for the 2nd last time. Up over the ripple strip. Takes the high line. There comes the Russian. Richard Verschoor uses every bit of the ripple strip. 1,250 metres to go of this La Conca circuit, Muro Lachesi. Now a look over the shoulder from the young Dutchman. The Russian is right behind him. He takes the high line. He's going to cut back on the inside. No, not this time. 8 corners remain for the Dutchman. He's driven superbly from the start, in the dry and in the wet. Another look over the shoulder from Richard Verschoor for RB Racing. I can see how close they are out the window of our commentary box. Again, Stupenkopf the high line. He's going to have the run on the exit. Over the shoulder, Richard Verschoor has a look. Again, the high line. He's going to get him up the inside. There goes the Russian. Oh, sensational. Verschoor holds him off. I'm just about out of breath, and we've got half a lap to go. They go up the back part of the circuit for the final time. This is the Senior KF final, the Champions Cup for 2015. I don't think he's close enough. He's trying. He's got it sideways under acceleration. He tries the NASCAR-style high line. Cuts back on the inside. He's not going to do it. It is the young Dutchman, Richard Verschoor. Wow, what a drive. The Dutchman wins.